So a lot has changed since my first video. For one, I finally have a subscriber. Isn't that great? I'm finally making it in this world. Oh, okay, fine, we can go back to 0, I'm not picky. I've also upgraded some of my tech. That's right, no more $10 capture card for me. Now I'm a big boy using an Elgato. Check it out, I finally got myself a working Xbox, so now I can finally play Burnout 3. You probably thought I was going to say Spider-Man, but I already played those 2 missions I wanted to play. Not only that, Insomniac's Spider-Man 2 is now the second game I've ever platinumed. But one thing has stayed the same. I still don't own Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Is it because I don't want Tears of the Kingdom? Oh no, of course not. Everything I've seen about this game screams, buy me. Problem is, my backlog. 2 or 3 years ago, my collection was at most 50 games. A decently sized collection for most people. Then I got some more disposable income and just got the desire to just buy every game I've ever wanted to play, and now I just buy too many games. I mean, look at this. What am I supposed to do with this? I just bought so many games, particularly games with sequels. Worst part is, when I have the time to play some games, I instead just go and play the same comfort games I've played way too many times. For instance, I already explained that I need to play through the God of War games. Not only that, I want to play the new Ratchet & Clank game, but I still need to play the original trilogy. I still need to buy the PS3 trilogy. I want to play Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but I still have all these to play. I stupidly bought Fire Emblem Engage the day it came out. I'm still working on Awakening. I want to play Pikmin 4 because it just looks so swell. But I just started playing the first Pikmin game not too long ago. Let's not even talk about the Paper Mario games and Mario RPG. It's not just Nintendo games. I want to play Gears of War 5, but I still have to play Gears 4. I just spent too much money on Pokemon White 2. But I still need to play the first Pokemon White and Pokemon Pearl. So right after stupidly buying Pikmin 2 before I even got far enough into Pikmin to determine if I'm even a fan of this series or not, I decided to impose a new rule on myself. I won't buy a sequel to a game I own until I beat the game that came out previously. And unfortunately, after 7 years, I still haven't beaten Breath of the Wild. So I like Nintendo. I have my entire life. Before I was even born, my older sisters had an NES that I kinda played when I was a toddler. By that, I mean I sent Mario to his premature demise so many times. But the Super Nintendo is where I truly started playing video games. Super Mario World, Turtles in Time, Star Fox, I played them all and loved each and every second of them. The Nintendo 64 is when I actually started giving a shit about video games. First time I ever sat down and I said, hey mom, that one, right there. But the GameCube was my time to shine. While the amount of games I played on the first 3 generations of Nintendo hardware were limited at best, the GameCube is where I got to experience so many great games at the time. This is the time where I could truly say I was a gamer. And I also mentioned that this is when my life started to decline. So naturally when the Wii came out, I just had to have it. Fun fact though, I didn't even know it was supposed to be some motion control console at the time. Didn't find that out until I saw the famous We Would Like to Play ad campaign. Before that, I just wanted it because I wanted Super Smash Bros. Brawl. The Wii was great, no one owned it for the longest time. Except for me. That's right, my parents went to the midnight release for the Wii and watched a guy run right into an end cap at the local Walmart, which ensured that my parents had a reserved spot in line, and I had that Wii on the first day it released. Well, first week, my parents were going to try and make me wait till Christmas, but then they saw the hype and they wanted to see what it was all about. Because of this, I felt an attachment to the Wii that I feel like most other Wii owners didn't. Sure, my other friends at school who were able to get their parents to get them a PS3 at launch had more bragging rights than the guy who owned the console that had Mii's on it. But I liked the Wii, it was a great little waste of time. Not only that, there were so many great games that came out in those first 2 years. So despite me acting like the Wii was the most important piece of hardware in my life, I gave up on it by late 2008, maybe early 2009. I wanted Mario Galaxy, Metroid Prime 3, Mario Kart Wii, a few other games I don't remember, and of course, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Nowadays, if you want to get into Wii collecting, you certainly have plenty of games to get for it. I didn't feel that way back then. I think it was the fact that at that point, I was getting pretty jealous of all the guys playing Halo, Gears of War, Assassin's Creed, while I was stuck with the console where the commercials for it were primarily shoving shovelware in your face and getting more kiddie-like. At that point, I was a teenager. I couldn't just be happy with the kiddie console. So 2009 came around and I got myself an Xbox 360. and I just stopped caring about the Wii. Not enough for me to chuck this console in the trash, though. Oh no, this Wii is the same exact one from November 2006. I just didn't touch it. I didn't care about it. I was an Xbox owner now. Then, of course, the dark days of Nintendo came around. The Wii U. It would probably be the biggest punchline in video game history if Atari didn't release this. Or this. Or just anything after the 2600. By the time the Wii U was officially revealed, I was now legally an adult. Physically, not mentally. When I just saw that Wii U reveal, I thought, wow, Nintendo doesn't want fans anymore. Because at that point, the Wii U was on track for being the first Nintendo console I wouldn't buy. Yes, they announced a new Smash Bros. Game for the Wii U during that reveal. Yeah, a few years later, a new Star Fox game was teased. That didn't matter. Young donkey-brained me got tired of the Wii after such a relatively short time. I saw the Wii U being a repeat of that. Now that's probably the first financially responsible decision I ever made. Not buying a console I didn't see the value in. Considering the fact that I own an Xbox Series X that I primarily use as a backwards compatible machine and hardly ever use it for truly next-gen games, says that not buying the Wii U was the only financially responsible decision I've ever made. Of course, at that same reveal, Nintendo made sure to show off their showstopper. A pre-rendered tech demo for a super duper realistic looking Legend of Zelda game that would probably have never run past 12 frames per second on the Wii U's hardware if they attempted to make a full game out of this. This moment was the one that made me go full cynic for a second, because I saw that new tech demo and everyone's reaction to it and I said, hey guys, the game's not gonna look like that. Please. It's all a ploy, please listen to me. So as the years went by, I bought another console I actually didn't use too much in the long run, the PS4. Again, not buying the Wii U was the only smart financial decision I've ever made. And then I was a PC gamer for a little while before I lacked the drive to upgrade my PC and just moved back to the Series X and PS5, and yeah, I know, I'm a bitch. Anywho, even with games like Mario Kart 8, Super Mario 3D World, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Yoshi's Woolly World, and of course, Super Smash Bros. Wii U, all games that were being regarded as some of the best games Nintendo has ever produced, and now an admittedly good Legend of Zelda game in production, I still had no desire to buy a Wii U at the time. I mean, no one else did. Hell, with that Zelda game, I didn't even watch a single trailer. I just saw the art style and said, wow, looks like they finally nailed the perfect Zelda art style, before going back to play some more GTA Online. However, after the Star Fox game was officially revealed, I just had the sudden impulse to jump in and buy a Wii U, the bundle that came with Smash Bros. And Splatoon. Then Nintendo officially killed off the Wii U and announced they'd be making a new console, the NX. Yeah, the writing was on the wall, but I'm not good at reading the writing on the wall. Like that. See, I have no idea what that means. Either way, I was a stupid bitch who bought a console that at that point had no value. What are the worst part? That Star Fox game sucked. Now, years later, I've grown to like the Wii U. I always tell people that it's a bad console, but the games weren't bad. That's why Nintendo decided to port just about every good game they had on that thing, except for Woolly World for some reason, to the Nintendo Switch. Hell, I've even gone as far as to buy Pikmin 3 for the Wii U instead of the Switch, because I've heard people praise this one more than the Switch port. Oh god, I'll never get through this backlog. So on one fateful day, in October 2016, we got this. Honestly, the reveal could have ended right there. We didn't even need all this B-roll of people playing the Switch at a picnic or something. The second I saw that console go from a home console to a handheld, I said, Nintendo, you just earned this stupid bitch's money. I was suckered into the hype. I watched the Nintendo Switch presentation and
we will consider new games for Nintendo Switch and we'll present them soon. This new hardware is taking on new challenge.
It was mostly garbage, but they showed off some good shit. Some. Of course, they topped the show off with the final trailer for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Before this, I thought the game was called Breath of the Wind because I saw the title once and I wasn't particularly interested in the game and I misread Wild as Wind. Boy, am I glad I've never made a video about this game until now. I would have looked like an idiot. But yeah, that trailer. Easily the best trailer Nintendo has ever made. If you weren't sold on this game by now, this was the one that made you want to buy it. Especially since if you bought the Switch at release, this was like the only game worth owning at the time. Now for me, I'm not a big trailer guy. I used to be back in the day, but maybe I'll watch a trailer once if I'm not forced to watch it a million times at a movie theater or something. Maybe I won't even watch a trailer at all. Especially if it's something that gets multiple trailers over the course of its development. I'm looking at you, Sony. Nothing kills the excitement for me more than getting a reveal trailer, and then a year later getting another trailer, and the year after that getting another trailer, and the year after that, you know where I'm going with this. Even Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, I watched the trailers at this event and nothing more. When I got my Switch, several months later, because I didn't buy it on launch because I'm a stupid bitch, I walked out with a copy of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And Splatoon 2 as I grabbed the bundle. Yep, I only play Splatoon if it comes pre-installed on my console. So I started playing Breath of the Wild and then I bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Then I started playing Zelda again and then I bought Mario Odyssey. Then I played Zelda again and I'm trying to say I never truly got into this game. So I guess I'll mention the elephant in the room here. When I say I'm a Zelda fan, I'm not really a fan. For instance, remember how I said I got the Wii at launch? Clearly that meant I grabbed Twilight Princess as my first game, right? Nope. It was Red Steel. Considering the fact that as I look at my Wii games right now, and Twilight Princess is here, and not Red Steel, should say a lot. It's not that I don't like the series, but because I just haven't, played it too much. I can honestly say I'm a fan of Zelda. From the sidelines. I get secondhand excitement easily. I never played Animal Crossing. I still haven't. But when Animal Crossing New Horizons was shown off to the world and every Animal Crossing fan shat themselves with excitement, I was getting excited for them. So let's explore my past with The Legend of Zelda. I actually bought this game on the Virtual Console back in 2007. Don't think I ever played past the first dungeon. Don't even think I made it to the first dungeon. Also got this complete in-box copy of Link to the Past from a pawn shop that didn't realize they were sitting on a several $100 game here and I took advantage of that. Again, this backlog never fucking ends. "10 out of 10, one of my favorite games of all time. I don't tell people to go explore the Nintendo 64 library due to how much it just hasn't aged well, but Ocarina of Time is one of those exceptions. I might have been a stupid-ass donkey-brained kid, but even then, I could wrap my head around this game. Actually, I did play this game when my friend let me borrow it for a few weeks. It was a good time. I didn't play it because I'm a Zelda fan, I played it because I owned a Wii, and for those first few years, I wanted to play all the major first-party Wii games. It also helped that despite the motion controls for the sword being so lackluster these days, back when I first played it, I couldn't get enough of how cool it felt to swing that remote and see Link swinging a sword. Yeah, I'm very easy to impress, shut up. Actually picked this game up recently because a few friends I have that played this game swear by it and told me I need to play this game. I've literally played 20 hours of this game and I still haven't beaten it. Breath of the Wild is just one of the worst games to play when you have a dumb idiot stupid brain like mine, where you put something down and pick it up again after a while and you just don't know where to go. In fact, if you look at the video files, you'll see that I was playing Breath of the Wild. Then I stopped playing so that I could finish Spider-Man 3. Can you imagine that? I stopped playing what's considered to be one of the best games of the generation in favor of finishing the game that broke me mentally. Again, just doing wonders for my credibility here. Regardless, I have never beaten Breath of the Wild, and I really want to. I've even gone as far as to avoid all spoilers for this game for almost 7 years now. Granted, from what I heard, there's not much to spoil, but regardless, I wanted to make this video before Tears of the Kingdom came out. But unfortunately for me, one game just so happened to give me a mental breakdown, so I put that off for a long while. At this point, I'm not even playing Breath of the Wild because I genuinely want to play it, but because it's a test, it's an obstacle, standing between me and buying new video games. Now while my wallet is pretty glad that I haven't made any major video game purchases recently, but damn it, I want to play Super Mario RPG, and I can't do that until I beat Super Mario RPG, so let's get this started. Now, of course, this is unlike any other Zelda game. There's some voice acting. Not a lot, but enough for them to go, oh shit, we usually let players name Link in the past games. So, you don't get to name him this time around. Good news for me, I only ever name my Link after fast food places. After getting your Wii U gamepad, which is funny because I'm 90% sure the Wii U gamepad did nothing special with Breath of the Wild, we finally get one of the best main title sequences Nintendo has ever produced. They really wanted this game to be special. But of course, I just have to ruin this moment because don't tell me you weren't thinking the same. You meet this old man who you can tell from the get-go is probably someone important to the story. I'll just take a wild guess and say he's the king of Hyrule's ghost or something. You find yourself picking up some random ingredients and flimsy weapons. More on that later. One very helpful tip. The rule of Breath of the Wild is to improvise. This game lets you deal with every situation in any way you choose. For some people, this already makes this game the game of the generation. For people like me, well, I'm not good at thinking on my feet. For instance, it's time to improvise. Ah, beans. Now the game immediately throws you into an hour-long tutorial. Or shorter if you're not a stupid bitch like me, where it introduces you to the basics like climbing towers and doing these shrines, again to build up your health or stamina. All I can say is, I can't wait to get these health and stamina meters up. This stamina is pitiful, and while 3 hearts might have been good for you during the early stages of past games, you'll find that most enemies outside these little guys will be able to one-shot you with ease. Now these shrines at the beginning are just here to give you the abilities that you'll be using for the rest of the shrines. Magnesis, Stasis, Kyrokinesis or something, I don't know, and bombs. Anyways, it's time to improvise. I swear I have an amazing personality. Boy, I sure hope I don't get horribly tired and annoyed by these shrines by the end of the game. Now one thing I always wanted to try, but I was always too stupid to know how to do it in past playthroughs, was shield surfing. I weirdly enough saw an old Jimmy Fallon video of all things that showed off the shield surfing and never attempted it. So now, I'll try it out for the first time ever. Neat! This tutorial is not actually that bad. Only annoying part to me was when I first played this, I didn't know the recipe to the spicy meal, so I just ran through the cold mountains with no protection from the cold. Just ate 80 apples to keep my health up. But now, I'm smart and I got this nice winter coat. Okay, it's time for me to redeem myself. It's time to improvise. This actually isn't improvising that much. I just saw this in a YouTube video once. Alrighty then. Well, now that we have this great open area here, let's do some shield surfing. Fantastic. Anyways, after getting all the shrines, you find out that, holy shit, that weird old man was actually the king of Hyrule's ghost. I'm absolutely flabbergasted by that reveal. After sitting through a patented Zelda exposition dump, we finally get out into the real game itself. See why you want to do these shrines? So now it's time to actually do a real quest. Go talk to Impa. Good old Impa. I always thought she was really cool back in Ocarina of Time. Boy, time makes fools of us all. One thing I like about this game is how even exploring encourages improvisation. For instance, you can take this road to Kakariko Village, or you can go take a hike through the mountains because just like how Skyrim was advertised, they tell you that those mountains aren't backdrops. You can climb those. Oh wow, I really shouldn't compare Nintendo to Bethesda in the future. So of course, I took the long path through the mountains, and it took a lot longer than it should have. However, at this point, I realized something. Elgato is cool because it tells you how much hard drive space you have left. Unfortunately, when I was recording this, I just started editing that Spider-Man video. This may sound pretty sad, but those Spider-Man videos took up 400 gigabytes of storage. At this point, I had about 50 gigabytes left. I couldn't get rid of those recordings of the Spider-Man games until this video was done rendering. I guess this is a good spot as any to leave until I finish this video. I mean, I'm sure I'll be done with this video by tomorrow, right? Well, I just finished my first video and uploaded it. With that, I was able to get rid of all those Spider-Man videos. Wonder why it took me another month to finish it. Thanks to having video proof of where I left off, I can't use the tried and true excuse of, well, I don't know where I am in this game. I'm gonna have to play something else. Another good thing is, I played around with the Elgato settings, so now the brightness isn't so fucked up that it's burning my eyes out of their sockets anymore, so I have that going for me. Anyways, I met Old as Dirt Impa, so now I have to go meet Pyrrha. I only really know who she is because I saw some discourse on Twitter where idiots were upset about her adult form in Tears of the Kingdom for being safe horny. Fellas, if you hear anyone complain about safe horny, run.
Huh? Aww.
Hey, whoa, I didn't play this game to get casually racism, Nintendo. Alright, now after getting 3 exposition dumps in a row, which is weird because that's pretty low compared to other Zelda games, it's now time to go and stop these divine beasts. I've heard about them 1,000 times, in-game and outside of the game. Never really seen them though, so really shows that I've barely scratched the surface of this game. But first, wanna see me bludgeon this highly trained assassin's brains in with an Ooga Booga mallet? Now that's just silly. So what about these shrines, you may ask? Well, I'm not really a fan. As many others have pointed out, the shrines act as mini dungeons. Each one has a few puzzles that aren't too difficult to solve. The best ones are the ones that let you think outside the box. I mean, seriously, look at this puzzle. What do you think the solution is? That's right, it doesn't matter. But considering you have to find and then complete 4 dungeons just to get 1 extra heart or 1 extra sliver of stamina, this is a real quantity over quality thing. I'd rather have 6 big but well-made dungeons than 200 small dungeons that just blend together. Some of the dungeons even have side missions that you have to do before you can even enter them. They're the ones that are kind of hit or miss, but the ones that hit are pretty nice, like this one. I like walking through this flower bed. It's so relaxing. So the last time I made any significant progress in this game, I was trying to do Zora's Domain's Divine Beast. So I figured I might as well head. Holy shit, what the hell? Okay, one sec, I got unfinished business. No, wait, no! But anywho, my current objective right now is to do more shrines so I can get stronger so I don't get one-shotted. Or worse, run out of breath during any other situation I can think of. Also might as well get some towers out of the way. I just gotta say, climbing in Breath of the Wild is pretty slow. But I still prefer activating towers like this than in any Ubisoft game like that. So, yet another thing I realized. I'm finding some good weapons, but I can't carry them all. I only thought this was the maximum amount of weapons I could carry until a quick trip to Google told me that no, you can expand your inventory with Korok seeds. What are Korok seeds? They're a very annoying collectible where not only do you have to find the location of each one, you have to solve a little puzzle. Sometimes there's just a little rock to pick up, others aren't so obvious. From what I've heard, there's about 500 of these in the game. Luckily, you only need 200 or so to max out your inventory. So, this is fun. So after scavenging for Koroks and looking for more shrines, Oh, what the hell is that thing? It just turned into a From Software game real fast. So I climbed this entire mountain to get to the shrine and it's on the mountain across the road. Anyways, I get up the other mountain and why is the moon red?
Link. Link. Be on your guard.
So turns out, that's a blood moon. That was sick. I can't believe I got so little done in one day. I imagine most people who've actually beaten this game are laughing because they made much more progress than I have in that same amount of time. Anyways, since today was payday, I did some errands first, and stopped up by my favorite game store and found a sealed copy of Metroid Samus Returns and Bayonetta 2 for the Switch, and oh, look at that, I still haven't learned from my mistakes, but I still don't own Tears of the Kingdom. So after being sidetracked for so long, I finally have enough health and stamina, at least I feel like I do, to be confident enough to do this Divine Beast. So I meet Prince Sidon, and I take part in the longest, most grueling gauntlet you'll have to go through, the path to Lake Zora. What do you mean I'm only halfway there? I've been fighting through monsters for 15 minutes. What do you mean there's even more enemies? Oh, you're sure I'll be fine? Well, I'm honored that you're sure in me. I want my mom. Alright, that's it. No more Mr. Nice Guy. After what feels like years of pain, I can casually fly into Zora's domain. Probably the nicest Zora's domain I've ever seen, but considering I've only seen 2 others, that's not high praise. So as you'll see, when you get to an objective for the Divine Beast, some sort of flashback will get triggered, like this one right here.
Perhaps we could spend some time together.
Boy, it doesn't matter what timeline it is, Link's always drowning in Zora pussy. Enough about that. Every time you do a Divine Beast mission, you always have to do some sort of setup. This is as far as I've ever gotten in my previous playthroughs. I am now officially farther than past Eddie could ever get. So what I like about this is that to board the Divine Beasts, you basically have to go through these big action set pieces that are just so exhilarating. Most of them, that is. After playing all the Divine Beasts, the Lake Zora one was the hardest section, weirdly enough. But now I'm officially in the Divine Beast. Again, fuck you, past Eddie, you stupid bitch. This is easy. But here's the other criticism everyone typically has with this game. The Divine Beasts still aren't a suitable replacement for the traditional Zelda dungeons. I thought I'd get lost in this thing for hours. I don't think I spent more than 20 minutes inside a single Divine Beast. But now I've got the first boss battle. This is the guy that killed Fish Waifu. I will avenge her. Well, not in this attempt. Just finish me, you fuck. Surely I last longer in my second attempt. Oh, are you kidding me? Maybe a third attempt will go better. Hell, I actually got him into his second phase in like 10 seconds. Okay, well, for once, improvising actually helped me out. After actually finishing the Divine Beast, you actually get some pretty cool cutscenes. But it was at this moment I realized something else. The few short hours I've recorded here have already taken up close to 200 gigabytes. I'm not going to have enough memory to just constantly record everything in this game. I should probably invest in a new hard drive because 2 terabytes isn't enough for my games and game footage at the same time. I'm going to have to record only relevant shit. So, I realized something. I need to do a lot more shrines and collect a lot more Korok seeds if I'm going to make any significant progress now. I'm probably going to have to spend the day grinding for this. Any fun I've had with this game so far is going right out the window with this. Theoretically, I could have just gone and go fight Ganon right now. I'm sure I could find some sort of guide that could help me give me a strat for beating Ganon with as little health and stamina I have now. It's possible, but I'm not going to attempt that shit. I'm just going to keep playing normally and not let this damper my spirit or hurt my opinion of this game. Guess what? More grinding! After spending all this time to get stronger, I've had time to list my complaints. I have no intention of complaining for the rest of the video, so I'll just get it out of the way here since I don't have much footage for this game anyways. Ahem. Why does the weapon durability have to suck so much? I know this is everyone's complaint and the topic has been rammed into the ground with countless hot takes. Yeah, near the end of the game, this isn't that big a concern because the enemies you fight from here on out are going to drop better weapons. But the system just triggers my dumb brain condition. I find a good weapon after using shit weapons for hours on end, but I never want to use it because I don't want it to break after 2 fights. Hell, at the end of the game, I still have the weapons given to me by each of the champions because I don't want to waste them. Yeah, the idea is to have like 200 weapons for you to choose from, but another quantity over quality situation. Why can't there be like 50 weapons, and instead of the weapon shattering into a million pieces, you can instead go to a blacksmith and repair them? I don't care if the repair fees are outrageous. I just don't want to end up in a situation where I'm stuck using an Ooga Booga mallet again. Then there's the health. I get that it probably went against their vision for this game and broke immersion to have enemies drop little hearts for you when they die, but I just hate having to stockpile food just so I don't get constant game overs. I don't even think the idea of food and cooking was a bad idea, but it should have been saved for something like the elixirs that have certain attributes, not for basic healing. Kill the Zolfo and get health. Sit down at the campfire for a basic speed boost elixir. And after grinding, I hate this. I got tired of doing things the correct way and just looked for a guide to find Korok seeds. While doing that, I found people constantly complaining about the Korok grind as well, talking about how this actually takes up all the fun out of the game, actively trying to hunt these little things down, and that finding Koroks should just be a little surprise every now and then. But you can't do that. You need several hundred of these things to make sure you have decent enough armory, because if you don't have enough weapons, shields, and bows, you're not going to last long. But hey, I started finding some memories during this playthrough, so that's cool. Weird to see that awesome trailer for Breath of the Wild was made up of these memories. Ironically brought back memories of watching that badass trailer. Actually lifted my spirits a bit. I also get a good laugh out of these because despite them telling a story, I keep getting them out of order, so I have no idea what's going on, and that's just funny to me. So I end my day with Link getting pretty. So that's pretty neat. Day 6. Wow, I am losing steam for this game, getting to the point where I'm barely making any progress anymore. Maybe it's my dumb brain conditions telling me that I shouldn't force myself to only play one long game at a time. But that's stupid. I've sat down and forced myself to play a long game, and only a long game for days at a time. Hell, just recently, I 100%ed Spider-Man 2 in a week. I have no excuse. I'm just trying to get on board the second Divine Beast, but man, this is rough, especially knowing that when I get inside, it's just going to be a repeat of the last time. It doesn't help that the Divine Beasts all look the same inside. Well, at least the textures of the walls and floors do. It's just enough for me to say, yup, this is the Divine Beast. I've stayed away from all discussions of Tears of the Kingdom, but man, I really hope it's not like this game too. At least the boss fight is challenging in a fun way. Or maybe I'm just too stupid to realize how the boss plays out to know that it's actually really easy, but still fun, so I have that going for me. Okay, so I can either go to the Divine Beast where those birds are. I have no idea what the name of their species is because again, only 2 Zelda games I've played had nothing to do with them. Or Death Mountain. Well, Death Mountain looks like it lives up to the name. The birds it is. I hate to say this, but I decided to chill out with a YouTube video playing in the background while playing on this day. I figured the Breath of the Wild soundtrack was subdued enough that I'd have to pause the video during a few select moments where you actually get an original piece of music. Hell, I decided I just needed to get out of the house and went shopping and got myself a copy of Yoshi's Woolly World. I've always wanted to play this so badly. Hell, just to keep in the spirit of things, I got myself a copy of the first 2 Zelda games as well. So now I can play those games too. I know, my problems never end. Okay, I promise I won't buy a single video game until I'm done with Breath of the Wild. But today, I decided to mix things up. A lot. I just realized that after playing this game so many times, I have never ridden a horse. This is weird to me because the only 2 Zelda games I've played had an Epona in them, so I decided to go get my own horse. Unlike Link, you can name your horse, so say hello to Arby's. Geez, even he's saying, are you sure you want to name him Arby's? Fuck you, man. Honestly, after getting Arby's, I'm starting to feel much better, which is ironically something no one has ever said after going to the real Arby's. Oh shit, it's the blood moon again. I don't care how many times I see this. This is fucking rad. Come on, Arby's, let's enjoy the blood moon together. Guys, there was a terrible accident involving Arby's. I was going to go over this bridge and I thought Nintendo wouldn't program a feature to let you and your horse fall to their deaths, but here I am. Rest in peace, Arby's. I'm still heartbroken over Arby's, so instead of opening, I decided to move on already and found a new horse. Meet Root Beer. I'm gonna put him in a stable so he doesn't die like his big brother. For the first time in any Zelda game, I finally met the bird people. This outfit cost me 30,000 rupees. After doing another one of these set pieces to get on board the Divine Beast in what's probably the coolest boarding visually, I do another Divine Beast puzzle that I really only like because I'm so high up in the air. It's so fun, look at it. After that, I battled another Ganon that was, weirdly enough, easy for me to beat on my first try. After finally getting the Master Sword, I decided, I'm done grinding. I'm confident enough with the amount of weapon slots I've unlocked and health and stamina I've earned. I'm at the point where I can confidently say that I've been missing out with this game. I think this is one of the most well-made games ever made. But this grind, whew, I'm not a fan of RPGs, but I wish this game had a more traditional RPG leveling system. Do quests, kill enemies, and level up. I don't like how Breath of the Wild does this. I really don't. But no more negativity. This day is a positive because I actually did 2 Divine Beasts in one day. That's right, I made my way up the most Death Mountain I've ever played. Again, that's my 3rd Death Mountain, but still. After that, I spent another 3,000 rupees for this fireproof armor. Then after seeing the 4th champion flashback, I realized something. Each of these cutscenes show off the power each of the champions give you. Only realize it after the people making this cutscene realized they couldn't show off their Rook's power in a cutscene naturally like the others were. I think I'll have to play the 2nd Hyrule Warriors game after this because I want to see more of these champions. But now it's time to do the next set piece. Like I said, most of them are cool, not this one. Moving on. With the exception of this Divine Beast being dark inside for the first 5 minutes or so, this was the easiest one. Again, they don't take too long. I liked Daruk after only a few cutscenes with him, so needless to say, I really want to kill this boss for him. This was probably my favorite boss of the bunch, but I still got him on my first try. Now with the Divine Beasts all freed, I finally get to make a Berserk reference. Look, it's me, doing a Berserk reference. I decided after this, I'm gonna rest up and try to finish this game first thing in the morning. Hey, just joking. I got out of the house today and didn't want to play video games. Doesn't help that it's sub-zero temperatures out right now. But yeah. Oh, look at that. I finally get to make a Majora's Mask reference. I should really get the expansion pack for my Nintendo 64 so I can actually play this damn game. So today my plan is to go destroy Ganon and finish the game. After I finish getting all the memories. Yeah, I'm not a big completionist. For instance, I always get the bare minimum amount of stars needed to beat a 3D Mario game. But for me, these memories are different. They tell the real story of this game. Yeah, you're going around defeating Divine Beasts and freeing the souls of the champions, but these memories were used to advertise the game. Look at the back of the box and boom, there's the memories. Sure, I may enjoy traditional storytelling, but the way the memories are handled here are genius. Yeah, it sucks that unless you have a guide, you're stuck going all around Hyrule looking at these pictures and saying, does this look like the picture Zelda took? To get the whole story. But the reward is a small collection of cutscenes that must have pissed off Miyamoto because it's a well-known fact that he doesn't like stories in video games. These cutscenes are the driving force that make me want to avenge the champions. Except for Rivali, he's kind of a prick in this one. They give Zelda depth as a character. Sure, you can imagine how Hyrule fell. Hell, for years, I didn't even know they would flat out show you how it all goes down. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The last memory I need is in Hyrule Castle. Shit. I've never actually imagined myself getting in there due to the fact that after all this time, I couldn't even get to a single Divine Beast. So, I'm not excited for what happens in there. Unfortunately, the palace is surrounded by guardians. What are guardians? Well, they are the enemies that are 100% possible to defeat, but I've never beaten one, so I've done my best to avoid them my entire playthrough. Now, I have no choice. Hell, I've never even gotten this close to the castle yet. This looks pretty badass. Luckily, I've been examining the grounds and know exactly where I'm going to enter the kingdom. Oh shit, it sees me. That's it, I'm tired of running. I have the Master Sword. shit. I beat it. I mean, it was mostly Daruk saving me, but still, this is why you're my favorite Daruk. You'll always be my rock waifu. Haha, the game actually thinks I'm gonna go battle Ganon right now. There, all the memories have been found. Now, it's time to take on Ganon, for reals this time. Man, Zelda and the champions must be pissed that they sensed me in the Hyrule Castle after all these years, only for me to sneak in, get a memory from Zelda's room, and run right out. But now, I'm back, and cue the badass music again. I was expecting to have to fight my way into the castle. I was dead wrong. In reality, just walk in and get introduced to this cool cutscene. Then an even cooler cutscene because I did the smart thing and stopped the divine beasts.
Now my moment has finally come. Brace yourself, Ganon, for the sting of my revenge!
This will be our final opportunity. We will not fail.
Let's go, little guy. Now, open up wide, Ganon!
100 years in the making. Hold on, princess. Our moment has arrived.
Jesus, they really did save the best soundtrack for last. The rest of the game had somber and subdued pianos. Then they just whip out these great tracks with this orchestra, and well, I know what I'm gonna do right after this. Anyways, the Ganon fight. It looks like I know what I'm doing, but nope, this is my 6th attempt. I was doing pretty well during my first attempt. That was until Phase 2 began, and I was only paying attention to Ganon's movements that I didn't realize that I was wasting my time attacking an invincible shield. The other attempts actually went worse because I was getting pretty tilted. But alas, after 6 attempts, I destroyed Calamity Ganon. Is what I would have said if I hadn't already beaten Ocarina and Twilight Princess, so I know that this is just part 1. Of course Ganon has to transform for round 2. Luckily, Zelda finally gives me the light arrows. Unfortunately, I somehow died twice. I say somehow because turns out this boss is more cinematic and flashy than challenging. This still took me a while because I forgot to switch to my light bow and I ran out of arrows and didn't realize that the light bow had unlimited ammo. Luckily, Root Beer was here to help me in this final battle. Don't know how well equipped he was for the final boss since he only had 3 bits of stamina, but I digress. This boss battle was full of embarrassing moments for me, but nothing more embarrassing than the very end, when Zelda told me to shoot the core, which I thought I was doing, for several minutes. That was when the game realized I was too stupid to get what it was trying to tell me and just spelt it out for me.
Use the updraft, Link. Now, Link.
Listen, I came into this battle expecting it to be challenging, not cinematic. I didn't know it was going to be this simple to beat his final form. But after a solid hour of trying to beat Ganon, I have beaten him, and Zelda seals him away forever, and he'll never ever bother anyone ever again. And just like that, I finally beat Breath of the Wild. After at least 35 hours, I have finally beaten the game that had been sitting on my shelf, uncompleted, longer than any other game I own. How am I feeling, you might ask? Well, conflicted for one. I will say this, 70% of the game to me was fun. I enjoyed it. The 30% I spent grinding was horrible. Awful enough for me to momentarily believe that 70% was a lot lower. Sure, the major gripes I had, like the weapon durability and all the cooking I had to do to stay alive, ended up turning into minor nitpicks near the end of the game. But the shrines, I do not like this system at all. It's weird for me to say, but I don't love this game. I think I'll probably come back and replay the final Ganon boss fight again, mostly so I can actually enjoy the cinematic feeling of the final fight without me being a dumbass. But other than that, I don't know if I'm going to play this game again. Granted, how many games have you stopped playing after beating them? Doesn't sound so weird, right? Probably most of them. But there's just something that strikes a chord with you after you beat a game, and instead of thinking about your potential second playthrough that never happens, you instead put it on your shelf or uninstall it, knowing that you'll never experience it again. Listen, don't get me wrong, I like watching people on YouTube who just get angry and say, "This game sucks." But when I decided to document myself playing Breath of the Wild, I had no intention of getting negative at all. I was expecting this video to be me realizing I've been missing out on this game for so long due to me being a dumb idiot brain and then spending my time overreacting to everything like I was watching a Marvel movie. I had no idea I was going to be so conflicted about this game, but here I am. However, looking back at footage of day one from when I started writing the script and I saw how much of a bitch Link looked at the beginning of the game and saw what he was like by the end game, and I realized that that bullshit saying is right. Something about the journey being better than the destination. This was an epic journey of a video game, something that so few video games can truly claim to be. So my consensus of Breath of the Wild. It's a fantastic game, but I don't think it's for me. I go online and see that people still enjoy everything about this game, or they at least enjoy all the good parts enough for them that the shrines and Koroks are just minor inconveniences to them. But here's my problem. I guess at the end of the day, I'm just a Zelda boomer. I'll no doubt play the older Zelda games as I have spent a lot of money recently trying to get a hold of copies of them because I'm a stupid bitch who doesn't emulate games. Because this is the style of Zelda I like. Sure, it holds your hand and tells you where to go, doesn't let you tackle every objective the way you want to do it, but because of that, they're just able to fine-tune the dungeons, the items, and considering Eiji Aonuma is basically trying to gaslight us into thinking that the old style of Zelda is outdated and we don't want that, and that Breath of the Wild is the future of Zelda and we want that a lot. I don't know if it's a good idea for me to even buy Tears of the Kingdom at this point. Like I said, all the trailers make me say, take my money. Seeing all the contraptions people have made in this game say, take my money. Hell, the fact that it's a direct sequel to the last game, instead of doing the tried and true, oh, this game takes place several hundred years in the future, or the past, or another timeline where Link slipped while climbing Death Mountain, that other games do, says, take my money. But after playing Breath of the Wild, I just don't know. Who knows, maybe if I play it, all the problems I had with the last game are ironed out. Or, if they're still there, then there is enough to make those problems look more insignificant. But I just don't know if buying Tears of the Kingdom is a responsible financial decision or not. Wait, a responsible financial decision? Like I said, not buying the Wii U was the only financially responsible decision I've ever made. And I have no intention on learning from my mistakes.